problems. That guy, he just has to touch you once.
Shit's going down.
He's so different than anybody else in the division. Like, he knocks everybody out. Everybody hits hard. They all hit hard.
But that
dude hits hard.
You want to go? Robert. Oh, sorry, when you've done.
Yeah, so them ones with the eye, Robert. Okay.
Yeah.
We send it. Answer. Anthony Joshua is Olympic champion. First. Jack Paul, it's sportsman, YouTuber, showman. Rolls Royce, Fiat.
Joe Rogan is known for speaking his mind. And his recent comments about Anthony Joshua training with Oleksandr Usyk ahead of the Jake Paul fight have sparked major reactions across the combat sports world. On his podcast, Rogan broke down the strange but fascinating situation, questioning why two of boxing's top heavyweight talents would be involved in preparations, connected to a fight many view as more spectacle than sport. To mixing, doubt, respect, and his signature nonsense breakdown. Rogan's take has fans talking about what this unexpected training partnership might signal, not only for Jake Paul, but for the future direction of boxing itself.
Not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio, and that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry.
Instead of staying in the UK with his usual camp led by Ben Davison, Joshua revealed at a recent press event that part of his preparation for the December 19th bout in Miami would involve working alongside members of Usyk's team. He praised the experience as intense and highly effective, recognizing the skill and pedigree of Usyk's setup, while making it clear that this didn't mean Usyk himself was sparring with him on a regular basis.
To find the belief in yourself, not in somebody else's system. You know what I mean? It's like Usyk's team might show him bits and bats of stuff. He doesn't box like Usyk. Can they train AJ to be similar to what Usyk's doing? AJ, you've got to pick out the best of what AJ does, and you've got to pick out the worst and improve the worst in him. And I'll say it time and time again. For me, the best trainer he ever had was Robert McGregor. It might not be what people want to hear, but he had him from the stages in the amateurs, from being a young mind, brought him through, guided. He had a good view of what the competition was out there, where to put him, you know, where to manoeuvre him, when to take fights, when not to take fights. And he'd invested a lot of time in him, Robert McGregor. So it was the payoff. Now when you go to, you know, if AJ came here or he goes to Ben Davison, or you're going to be in for a big payday as a trainer. It's a lot of responsibility to take on. You know, Ben Davis is a good trainer. He's trained AJ for so many fights, brought him back. He'll have got paid handsomely. Everybody wants to train AJ because it's a good payday. So, but sometimes you have to think to yourself, are you capable of training that fighter? You know, people have come to me wanting me to train. I said, to be honest, we're not going to match. You know, what I want to do and what I want you to do is not going to work. So I just think AJ is looking for that secret ingredient.
By working with experienced members of Usyk's camp, Anthony Joshua is sharpening both his offense and defense across the board. Those watching closely say his focus on progress is relentless. From improving footwork and fine-tuning timing to cleaning up his combinations, each session is purposeful while still allowing room to experiment within a controlled setup. The camp also provides sparring partners who recreate realistic fight scenarios, keeping Joshua sharp and constantly engaged. As fight night approaches, every workout carries extra weight, building not just his physical readiness, but his mental edge as well. His preparation reflects a clear understanding that precision, adaptability, and strategic growth are vital at the highest level of boxing.
Simon, I think he's at that stage of his career where he's trying to rediscover a little bit of that confidence. He's gone to Oleksandr Usyk, where we're hearing reports he's out there training with Usyk and the team, trying to pick up some trying to pick up something, trying to rediscover something.
That's very strange, Paul, isn't it?
It is, but it's not unheard of. I've heard of a lot of fighters doing that. You see fighters, obviously, it's the old Rocky movies years ago, but you see a fighter losing to someone, all of a sudden they go in the camp and they start training and do little bits together and become friends or whatever else. I think it'll do Joshua no harm travelling, but as you say, he's a little bit long in the tooth and he's a bit on the back nine rather than the front nine, where that experience would really come into play. But I'm just looking at his record here. He obviously after the Usyk fight, he'd come back and he had 3 fights and then the Ngannou demolition
Well, yeah,
job.
Jermaine Franklin, he had Robert Helenius, he had Otto Wally, and he smashed McGregor, which everyone went hallelujah for, right?
Yeah, but he's obviously not in like the box rec rankings to see where he is. But the Dubois fight is a fight where what you've just said then, Spencer, like match him right. I felt he was match right with Dubois. That's just my opinion.
Just felt
obviously I was wrong on that and I was proved wrong, but I felt like Joshua would have and should have came through that, but he obviously didn't. So therefore, it's back to the drawing board, and where do you go from there? What do you do from there? Does he keep the same team around him? Does he go and find someone new and try and adapt and add to his repertoire already? And this move at Usyk, I don't know what it'll be, but if he's fighting before Christmas, then he needs to get in shape quick because there's only 8 weeks to go, let's say.
Well, my understanding, he's in camp, he's in shape, and just looking to getting out and get back to winning ways is my understanding. That's why they're talking about 8-rounders.
Yeah.
He wants to sort of go under the radar a little bit, and it's difficult for someone like Anthony Joshua because he's such
Very
a
much so.
commercial commodity.
He's always been in shape all the time, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He always will be in shape. He's never, ever not been.
But it's not about his physical shape, is it? No one's ever questioned his physical state. Zach, when I was talking about Anthony Joshua, and I know that the president of his fan club is here in Spencer, but I talked about the PTSD issue post various fights, whether it be the Oleksandr Usyk or the Daniel Dubois situation. But prior to Daniel Dubois, I always maintained that I felt that despite the performance against Jermaine Franklin, despite the performance against Robert Helenius, which had been blasted out by Deontay Wilder,
While Joshua hasn't been sparring directly with Usyk on a regular basis, he has fully immersed himself in the Ukrainian champion's training environment. He's been working closely with the elite coaches who helped shape Usyk into a 2-time undisputed champion, gaining insight into their high-level boxing system. Joshua has said the experience offers valuable perspective from a fighter who has achieved the very top of the sport, and he believes it's an important step in fine-tuning his preparation for Jake Paul's unconventional style.
Going to that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul.
AJ's been in camp with Usyk.
Taking it seriously for it to get fucked off at the final minute.
What better camp to go join than the master himself?
What he's doing is he knows that he's got, 1, maybe 2 years left, maybe 2 years. So he's gone to the Usyk camp. There's motivation behind that, you know what I mean?
Yes.
You're not going to that camp just for Jake Paul, because he could have gone to fucking my camp to beat Jake Paul. But he's going to that camp for the future of next year, where he could be fighting Dubois, could be fighting.
Conor McGregor has shared a blunt and cautionary take on the proposed Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua boxing match, warning that the fight carries serious danger and, Yan's opinion, may not even be wise to stage. McGregor pointed to Joshua's proven knockout power and experience as a former world champion, emphasizing that stepping into the ring with someone of that caliber demands respect. At the same time, he highlighted the very real physical risks Jake Paul would be facing, even with his doubts. McGregor made it clear that if Paul genuinely commits to the challenge, he would earn his respect. Still, McGregor questioned whether a crossover bout of this magnitude truly makes sense from a pure sporting perspective.
For entertainment purposes, and I can do a little bit of everything. So I can be the heel, the villain, I could be a jackass, I could shit talk, I could be investor, businessman, CEO, boxer, whatever it is. You know the drill. The current state of modern entertainment, you got to do it all. You got to play across the board and be good at all these things. But I've been in this game for 12, 13 years now, and I've seen a lot of people fall by the wayside, but me and my brother have just worked hard and been super calculated and know what we're doing in this space.
I think the work ethic is obviously absurd, and you guys are a couple of Ohio fucks at your core, so we have massive respect for that. But obviously talent and having to understand where the world is going is a forethought that not a lot of people have in history. You're a trailblazer, you know that. Now let's get to your boxing career. You've been very, very, very upfront about how you want to be a world champion. You focus your entire life to boxing, it seems. We've seen you in other eras and chapters of your life where you're doing a lot of things. Then you turned your focus focus fully to boxing. You said boxing saved your life. You fell in love with it. Now you're taking on a guy who has done the same thing with boxing for most of his life. He has loved it. He has invested in it. He has fought the greats. He's been in the biggest fights. He's been champion. I think a lot of us were very surprised that this would be happening. How do you feel just a few days out? And what went into the decision to fucking fight Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, look, to me, I see a lot of paths to victory in his style, and styles make fights. We all know that. He's lost to guys who are shorter mostly and lighter mostly, and faster than him. I see holes in his game. I see punches that I can land.
Could Joshua's time inside Usyk's training camp be the hidden advantage Jake Paul never anticipated? Or does Paul's confidence and unconventional approach give him a genuine chance to shock everyone? Share your thoughts in the comments below.